Hello everyone, I am back with my another video, and in this video I have my friend Niket Manoj with me, and he's doing undergraduate program at IISC. So let's know how he got into IISC and what's life in IISC in undergraduate course. So let's go through it. So hi Niket, how are you?
I'm good.
So like how's your life going in IISC?
It's pretty good. It's a unique environment where you actually get to along with the academics, you get to actually you actually get an introduction to what life and research is, and in addition to that, you have a great campus at your you have a great campus, like excellent facilities when it comes to sports or extracurriculars. So all in all, it's a pretty good experience.
Okay. So you joined in which year in undergraduate program?
I'm in the 2017 batch, so we started our program from August 2017.
Okay, August 17. Okay. And how did you like which exam you gave to enter into ISC?
Okay, I qualified through the KVPY exam, but
KV?
apart from KVPY, actually ISC admits students, even students who actually clear JEE mains or JEE advanced. But that's a little more selective because they tend to take students with a rank below 100. For advanced, they take people with a rank below All India 100.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for mains, I think they have a certain percentile, but both of them are quite competitive. So I would say like 90% of the undergrad students, they have qualified through KVPY.
Okay, so this cutoff changes like it might be reduced or some increase also. So people have to check, I think, right?
Yeah, so the cutoff actually depends on the number of people applying
Mm-hmm.
and the number of seats they have. So the number of seats, I think they have 120 seats. I think they're planning on increasing it. I'm not quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
But based on number of people applying for the seats and number of people who turn up for counseling,
Mm-hmm.
the KVPY cutoff it usually stops at 200, 220, something of that sort. But I think that was in my batch. But
Mm-hmm.
off late, since the demand has increased and there are more people applying, I think last year the KPI cutoff was, I think it went below 200.
Okay.
So it all depends on number of people applying.
So can you tell us what is KVPY, how or like how it is conducted and everything,
Of
like
course, yes.
all information about KVPY?
Yeah, so KVPY is basically it serves as an entrance exam as well as a scholarship, as well as an exam to actually screen students for awarding a fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's an exam which is conducted by IISC. So like your JEE and your JEE and your NEET and your postgraduate exams, it's an all India exam. So
Mm-hmm.
students from across the country who have taken science in their 11th and 12th,
Mm-hmm.
they appear for this exam, and you have two rounds. The first is a written round.
Mm-hmm.
In the written round, you're tested in physics, chemistry, maths, and bio,
Mm-hmm.
and afterwards they in the out of the total students who appear, I think it's a certain percentage are selected for the next round based on the scores. They have a certain cutoff. Everyone who gets more than that are selected for the next round. In the next round, actually, you have it's an interview round.
Mm-hmm.
So here you're actually interviewed by a panel of scientists from across the country. Usually, there's actually one professor from IISc.
Mm-hmm.
So there, based on you actually have to talk about your interests, and based on your interests, you actually ask questions, and they actually kind of they want to evaluate you at a personal level rather than through exams.
Mm-hmm.
So then they combine the scores of your interview and exam and release a final list.
Okay.
So you so every year I think there are 1,000 odd KVPY fellows who are selected,
Mm.
but out of those only the top 200 usually are given it. You need to have a rank within 200 to get seat in ISC.
Okay. So is it this particular KVPI exam is for IISc or for some other institutes also like IISERS or some other institutes?
Yeah, actually, this thing, being a KPI fellow, actually, you can, other institutes like ISOs and ISOs, they use KPI ranks as well. So actually, I have a few friends in ISOs and ISOs who have gotten in through the KPI ranks. So yeah, it's like for many science institutes across the country actually take KVPI as an entrance exam.
So this KVPI you told that it is like two levels. One is written. So this written exam, will it be like a level of IIT, JEE mains or JEE advanced, like the level of this examination?
Okay, personally, I would say that it actually tests a different kind of skill. So in mains and advanced, it's more of like trying to balance speed with obviously as well as testing your concepts. But out here, the questions tend to be a little more. I mean, time isn't an issue out here, but it's more of they try to test the depth of a concept. So personally, I found the chemistry and biology sections to be very easy. And this is speaking as someone who hadn't taken biology in 11th and 12th. So for preparing for biology, like me and my friends, we just used the NCRT book a month before the exam, and we found it really easy. And that was the experience for many of my friends who are not from biology background. So the chemistry and biology sections tend to be very easy, disproportionately easy, I would say. And physics was, I would say, on the level of physics was close to JEE, whereas the maths questions were actually considerably tougher. Actually, many of my friends who have cleared the region, the state level RMO and appeared for Indian National Maths Olympiad, even they said that the maths questions, at least the time that was given, they were actually pretty tough. So it's like it's different compared to JEE.
So this exam, KVPI exam, even like you did not take, I think, biology in your 12th, right? Or
Yeah.
so still you have to give exam, like some questions will be from biology in that exam, KVPI exam, written exam.
Yes.
So we have to prepare for that also.
Actually, how it works is you have 4 sections: physics, chemistry, maths, and bio. You have to, if you give it in 11th, you have to take all the 4 sections. You can even give it in 12th. In 12th, actually, you have an option of skipping one section. I didn't give it in 12th because I got a good rank in 11th. But in 12th, actually, you have the option of skipping one section. But even though actually, I would advise students who have not taken biology to actually prepare for the bio section and give it, because many of my friends who gave it in 12th, like me, like none of us actually have a bio background. We all took computer science. So actually, most of them skipped the bio section in 12th because they have the option. But a few of them actually prepared for the bio section, and they did very well in that because it was very easy. Even in 12th, the trend is the same. Bio is really easy. So if you give a small amount of time to prepare for it, it's actually, you have a better chance in going for maths, even though you're better at maths.
Good scoring,
So
like they can
it's really
score good.
scoring, yeah.
Okay. And like how can one prepare, like if you can give some advice about like for the preparation of this exam, will it like be okay if we study only NCRT books, or we have to study from other books also, like Arihant and all, anything extra like that we read for JEE mains and advance?
Actually, personally, I was preparing for JEE mains and advanced, so I didn't go out of the way for KPY because like this thing, I was actually a part of I this thing I used to go to Fiji for JEE preparation, so it kind of tied in with that. But when it came to KVPY, at least a couple of months before the exam, since they tend to ask questions from 12th standard syllabus, like in chemistry, actually anyone who's familiar with the secondary chemistry syllabus, they'll know that actually organic chemistry is introduced towards the end of 11th, and a majority of it starts in 12th. Whereas in KVPY, right in your in the this thing, right, even for 11th graders, they're expected to answer questions related to organics. So I would say that this thing, preparing at the level required for mains and advanced will help. But at the same time, you have to actually introduce yourself, at least get slightly acquainted with some of the concepts in 12th. So for chemistry, it's good to have a good knowledge of organic. I mean, just go through them, try to actually understand how organic works, because if you have a good grasp of the concepts, the questions are very easy. And for physics, I think a good understanding of electromagnetism and optics would go a far way, because they tend to ask questions from those.
Okay.
For biology, actually, just reading 11th was enough, at least for in my year. I haven't checked the questions in recent years.
Okay. So like if someone is preparing for JEE main and JEE advanced, it would be like, yeah, they can easily give this exam and can score good.
Yeah, I found that it tends to go hand in hand. Like, I mean, the kind of concepts that they're testing is very similar. Just that you have to do a little bit of preparation for the 12th standard concepts if you're giving it in 11th.
And when this exam happens, like month of this, like in which month this examination generally happens, and when the forms comes out for this, how to apply for
Yes.
that?
So usually, at least for like till I think till last year, they always try to hold it in the first week of November. This year, I think there was a delay because I think because of the pandemic or something else. So I think you can expect the exam to be held in the first week of November. As for the application, actually, it's been a long time since I gave it. I gave it in 2015, right? So I think the application starts sometime in August or something. I think it's a good idea to just keep an eye out for the application sometime in August. So KPI has they have a very well maintained website where they have all the past year question papers, application dates, and all that. Like that one site has everything. The site is maintained by IISC, so you can from July itself you can start keeping an eye on the site for when the application announcements come out.
Okay. So Niket, can you give us idea like about the questions of the KVPI examination, written examination, some
Okay, so
pattern or something?
yeah, so actually that was one problem even I was facing when I was preparing for the exam, because compared to JEE and NEET and those kind of exams, I mean, you'll find that for those kind of exams, there's tons of materials on the market. In the market, you have all kinds of uh, companies and coaching centers who have a lot of materials and reference books. For KEP, on the other hand, at least when I was preparing for it, there wasn't much quality material for it. So one thing that I found useful, one really good way to prepare for it and to actually get an idea of the questions is to actually go through the previous year papers. So all these papers are maintained by the KPI site. So the best thing is to actually time yourself and try to solve these papers, and that's an excellent way to actually judge yourself and actually get an idea of the kind of questions that can come in this exam.
Okay. So this was the like our first level written examination for the
Yes.
KVPI, and the second one is interview. So can you give us some idea about what questions are asked in this interview level?
Okay, so the interview is actually it's a completely different beast compared to your written exams. So your written exams is something that to like I mean if you actually have a good conceptual understanding and you're good and your problem solving skills are good, you can take care of physics, chemistry, and to a certain extent maths. In my case, in PCM, actually my score was pretty good, and since I prepared for bio, it took care of that as well. But when it comes to your interview, actually they actually tend to ask really deep. They tend to ask deep and insightful questions where they actually see how they actually try to test how well you would do as an not as an independent researcher per se, but if you actually face with a problem for which the conceptual background is not well known, is not that well not known, how actually you can propose a solution to actually solve the problem. So in your normal exams, I mean, you're familiar with the concepts. It's just about applying them to try to solve a well-defined problem. Whereas out here, it's more of like if you're faced with an unknown problem, how you could actually try to how you could try to approach it and come up with a solution. So actually, one question which actually it's been a long time, but one question which I distinctly remember is something I think I think this thing is since you're in I think this question would actually resonate with the chemistry with the people from the chemistry background. So the question I was asked is about since back in the day, like we are all familiar with the structure of with the structure of carbon atoms, right? Your with your carbon atoms with four substituents has a tetrahedral geometry.
Environment.
So I was asked that put yourself in the shoes of the chemists in the early 20th century. How would you actually try to solve this problem? Because for four substituents are many possibilities. You can have square planar geometry, you can have tetrahedral geometry, you can have other sorts of lower symmetry structures. So they actually ask this kind of question, and they want to see how you approach this problem. So they're actually kind of looking for a different kind of looking for a different bent compared to your normal exams. So yeah.
Even if you don't know the problem, like the question, we how we approach is crucial, I
Yeah.
think. Hmm.
Yes, they're actually looking for more of like how creative you can get and how you can actually use the stuff that you know to actually come up with an ingenious solution. So that's one thing I liked about the second round.
And so, how much time gap they give, like in this written examination and this interview? So, how much gap? Like one
Okay,
month.
so the written exam was in November, and I think the results came out sometime in December or Jan. I don't quite remember.
Mhm.
But there is a good amount of time to prepare for the interview. I think we had like a month and a half, 2 months to prepare for the interview.
Mhm. Okay, and after that, yeah, this is the this will be the final list who will be selected for this.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So this is KVPI is a kind of scholarship also, right? Like
Yeah.
you will be getting some kind of scholarship also while doing your studies.
Yes.
So like, can you tell us what is the amount and like year? I think it will be changing from like year to year also. One in first year, from second year it will be increasing also maybe. So can you tell
Yeah.
us
So
a little bit?
so anyone who's qualified for who's actually a KEPA fellow,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be. They don't have to join IISc if as long as you pursue a degree in the basic sciences,
Mm-hmm.
or the natural sciences, you'll be getting a scholarship of 5,000 per year for the first 3 years of your studies, and
Mm-hmm.
after that it'll be raised to 7,000. Sorry, 5,000 per month, not per
Mm-hmm.
year. 5,000 per month for the first 3 years of his studies,
Mm-hmm.
and and after that it'll be 7,000.
Okay. So you are saying that when you join only, then only you will get, right? When even like after you clear this examination, you join somewhere either in IISc or ISERS, you will be getting this amount of as a
Yes.
scholarship, right? So this program that you are enrolled, how many years? Like 4 years or 5 years or 3 years? UG
Okay.
program.
So yeah, we have two options. We can either go for the four year bachelor's degree.
Mm,
That's called BS Research.
mm,
Since our degree has a strong research component, in the final year we actually not just expected, but we have to actually we actually have we are supposed to take a research project where we join one of the research groups in the institute, and not just in the institute, outside the institute as well.
mm,
So we have to actually complete a 1 year research project, and we actually graded on the basis of that. So it's called BS Research. Or else we can stay for an extra year and get a dual BSMS degree. And if we stay for an extra year in our final year is expected to be devoted completely to research. So in my case, I've been working with with the computational group in organic chemistry.
mhm.
So so the entirety of my final year, I've been working as part of a research group as an undergrad uh, as an undergrad student.
Okay. So you are doing like your research project in computation group right now.
Yes.
Okay. So Niket, tell us about your like different phases in your like first year, second year, third year. What problems you faced in terms of studies or the pressure or something, and how did you overcome? Are there any extracurricular activities also did you participated? Are there like these facilities also available and all?
Okay. So actually, this thing it's been like a really, I mean, like like from the first year onwards,
Mm,
we've actually had a lot of very varying and distinct stages. So
mm,
for the first 6 semesters, we actually expected to take one course from all the subjects: physics, chemistry, maths, bio, and one from engineering. And back then, I felt that it was a little needless because I was kind of fixated on physics and chemistry, and obviously maths as well. So I felt that some of the bio and humanities courses that we were exposed to, I felt that we had to it was kind of taking away time and all that, and of course the course burden is also a bit too much.
mhm,
So so yes, in the first few semesters there is a bit of course burdens, but personally, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but personally I felt that the sports facilities, and just i would like I would like every 1 or 2 days I would just I would go for a game of football, cricket, or maybe swimming or something of that sort, and
mhm,
I found that to be very useful. But yeah, I mean, like a lot of people have said that the course burden could be lightened a bit because it can be a bit overwhelming at times, and of course that is true. Even I've like, and especially the first 3 semesters, on the last day we would actually find ourselves with a lot of academic burden. But I think that I mean, maybe this is like I actually I mean, the stuff that I tend to enjoy, I think ISC has good facilities for those. So I actually found that there is a good way to unwind. And being in a city like Bangalore has its own advantages. You can always go out with your friends and all that.
mhm,
And after that, after the first 3 semesters, we take our major. And here I took chemistry. So
mhm,
here we are actually exposed to some of the to some of the graduate level courses where we actually so far we've been learning about the fundamentals and the concepts, and here we actually get to we actually get a taste of how actually the cutting edge science in our respective fields are. So we actually take courses from the department, and some of these advanced courses actually give us a glimpse into what research life is. And one good thing is that IISc encourages us to take to actually to work on projects in our summers. So right from my first summer till this one, I've been trying out different working in different research groups to get an idea of how research in that field is, and so that I can before starting a PhD, I get an idea of in what direction I want to proceed. So in my second year, actually, I worked in the field of catalysis, and ever since then, I've actually kind of that kind of helped me decide that this is the field I want to pursue down the road. And the summers after that, I explored a little more and decided that in this field I want to work on computation. So IC tends to it gives you that opportunity that apart from academics, you even have access to working with excellent labs so that you can actually make a choice for your future for the future academic career.
Because we are exposed to different lab groups, so we might like after doing we can know what is our interest and what
Of course,
like
yeah.
yeah, so this is good benefit. So what will you say about like research opportunities after working, like after doing undergraduate program from IISc? What are there any internship kind of opportunity also you can get in IISc?
Yeah, actually, in that case, I would say that IISc has a few types with a few colleges when it comes to internships, and that helps. So in my third year, like in the summer of my third year, uh, this thing actually many of us, like if you see students across the country, apart from if your institute doesn't have tie-ups, you tend to mail profs, just send a few unsolicited mails and ask if you could spend the research working with the lab. But I found that kind of approach is not that fruitful, especially when it comes to experimental sciences. So IISc actually has a few tie-ups with colleges like Australian National University and NTU from Singapore, and I think they had a tie-up with Rutgers or Brandeis. I'm not quite sure. So in these kind of colleges, I think IISc selects a few students to apply for these programs, and if you have a good profile, they select you. So personally, I was actually selected. I was selected for the Australian National University research scholarship, but it was cancelled due to the pandemic. But it gives an idea. So I would say every year from IISc, around 20 odd students get selected for these kind of programs, and they spend a summer working with these kind of groups abroad, and that actually gives you exposure to how the research culture is in those countries.
Yeah, it's really important also for us.
Yes.
Yeah. How is it? How is it different from like IITs and all?
Okay, from IITs, actually, I mean, I have a few friends who are in IITs,
Hmm.
and out there, it's more like it's. I mean, it's. I mean, their I think their course structure and all is more. It's more geared towards industry rather than academia, especially the ones who are in engineering. But even IITs, I mean, I know a friend of mine who switched from who actually, I mean, after completing his bachelor's in IIT, actually went to Netherlands for a master's in uh, in biology. So, but the thing is, obviously, like I had said before, in IISc, you have the opportunity to work with the research groups of
Research.
many of the profs out here,
Mhm.
and that kind of exposure, I think you could get it at IITs as well. But the culture is more you're actually encouraged to try that out and explore different areas of research right from the word go. So I think IISc helps in that regard. But when it comes to industrial, if you actually want to go into the industry, I think IITs have an excellent structure with the placement cells and all. And I mean, I think even IISc is slowly improving in that regard. Their placement cell has been doing very well in the past few years. So I think they both offer different advantages. But I think even if you want, even at IITs or IIScs, if you want to switch over, the being in such an excellent academic environment at IISc or IITs, you have the option of doing that. So that's one good thing.
Niket, I forgot one question. You told students who are from like who did not take biology in their 12th, they can apply through this KVPY or JEE mains exam. But what about if some students opts like biology in their 11th and 12th? So they how will they enter into this like IISC for their UG program?
Actually, I forgot to mention that. Actually, apart from, I mean, I had been speaking from the perspective of someone who's preparing for the engineering entrances. But yeah, I think even for NEET and I'm not sure. I think there's NEET and I mean, you have quite a few medical entrance exams.
I
I
think
think
NEET
IISC.
exam right now only one exam. I
Okay,
think
only you only
yeah,
have NEET.
NEET
Yeah.
exam.
So yeah, I think IISC has a cutoff even for students entering to the medical entrance exam stream, and I think the cutoffs there are just as competitive as for JEE mains and advance. So I would still say that the best that the best the best way to the best exam to give for admission is KPI.
Okay. So I think Niket, that's all for today. So thank you for your time. And actually, I always do one thing that I ask my guests to give one advice to my viewers. Any advice like for preparation, like that might be helpful for their preparation, or any life advice also. Any advice
Oh,
which
okay.
can be helpful. So which you have also faced, because everyone has went through some different struggle, or they find like they have overcome that and cleared that their exams, or any tensions or anything, any advice like. So is there
Okay.
any particular advice you can give, or any advice you can give to my viewers? It will be like helpful for them.
Okay, actually, I don't think I'm old enough to actually have so many experiences to actually dish out advice. But one thing I've noticed is that obviously, like, it is important to, like, in any institute like ISC or any good any institute you go to, like, there is too much right from the word go. There's too much emphasis on the academic part, and obviously you have to do well in that. But apart from that, one thing I've realized, like almost near the end of my undergrad, is it's actually important to actually make contacts and go out and meet people, and especially in an environment like ISC where people tend to keep to themselves. It's all the more important where you actually go out, meet people, make connections, and like when you go out of college, these are the skills that translate anywhere in the world, like in academics or industry or in business. It's always good to actually, if you pick up the people skills, that is something which you can actually develop in the college, in a college environment. So that is something which I think not many people talk about, and I've seen it out here. People tend to be in their own shells, so that is something that I feel is necessary, that someone could find useful.
So thank you, Niket.
Thanks for having me. And if you like this content and would like to see more of these kind of videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you,
Done.
Niket.